tired of these companies making games and they're buggy as hell day one. Does nobody do quality control before games are pushed out?
But they're like infinitely more complex.
Is there quality control before the game is pushed out? Yes or no?
They test a ton.
So why is the game always buggy day one?
Infinitely more complex. They have so many to get.
Stop. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Unfiltered Gamers. I'm Della.
I'm Mad Curious.
And Mad Curious is a little bit tired because she just came back from India and she was out there doing the whole Bollywood scene. Had a good time. I saw pictures. You look like you had a good time.
I even had
you look
a dance.
Very nice.
Speaking of Bollywood, I did. Nobody will ever see that video.
I'm gonna see it. I'm gonna find a way to see it.
Moment. The groom said he'll eventually send it to us, but like the editing stuff, takes forever for weddings. And we didn't have anyone record it. I think all of us were too embarrassed to ask anyone. So.
But what was it like out there? What was it like?
It was hot. I normally really like the heat, but it was hot. Like.
It was too hot for you?
Yeah, and I love the sun, but not anymore. No, it was really fun.
The sun was legit trying to kill you?
Yeah, it was. But it was fun. It was cool to see. I haven't seen any country that really compares to India. It's its own thing, for sure. It's its own culture. And it was not exactly what I expected, but also everything I expected at the same time. It's different than I think a lot of people would expect, but I also did see it from a different perspective because I got to see, the local side as well, which was really cool. And my friends were like, my friend and all of his friends were really amazing, just bringing us into it. It was more interesting than American weddings because American weddings are, as you know, like really boring and it's just like a church service basically, and then a party. But and sometimes the party can be really tame too. And so this was like, colors everywhere. Everything they do has symbolism. Like the wedding was full of action, you know what I mean? They're always like doing something that symbolizes their love and everything. It's just everything there is cooler and brighter and it's just more fun.
That's dope. It's funny that you say that about American weddings because I hear like a lot of people talk about how American weddings are this kind of like, it's kind of very boring and like every other country has like amazing weddings. There's even there's a band. I think you'll like them. It's called. I might screw up the name. I think it's called Gypsy Auto. No, not Gypsy Autopilot. I forgot the name, but it's Gypsy punk rock.
Okay.
And he has a song where he talks about an American wedding, and he's like, "Where's the vodka? Where's the 2-day rations?" Because like their weddings just go for like days. Like you get married, it's like a 2-day fucking party.
And that's the thing too, is we like spread out a bunch of parties rather than doing them at once and making it a whole event. So we do like, there's the bachelor and bachelorette parties, and then there's like wedding showers and all of these things. All of that is combined into one really long event in India, and they have all of these names for the different events, and it feels more special that way because you remember it as a moment in time rather than like, oh, I went to all these things for my friend's wedding in like 1 year,
That's what's up. I'm glad you came back and you're safe.
Safe.
You came
and
back
exhausted.
very jet lagged.
It was the worst jet lag of my life, dude, and I'm paying for it.
Yeah, you don't have like a Steam Deck or anything, right?
A Steam Deck?
Yeah, the Steam Deck, the handheld Steam Deck with like a giant game gear and you play games.
I mean, I don't, but what is that? Seems like
you don't know what a Steam Deck is?
No, I do, but there was just like no transition there. What was
there was a transition because I'm talking about traveling, you gaming, you.
I was wondering what the segue was.
I was having conversation. This is, you see, don't have conversations with people you associate stuff with or call your friends and work with because it seems like, oh.
What was the segue?
There's no segue. I was asking questions like, hey, do you have a Steam Deck or something? Because maybe you were playing the game on the long fucking flight. That's what I was trying to ask you.
Bro, I don't. No, I don't game offline.
Oh, I forgot. Miss. Oh, I'm too busy to game offline. Yeah. Also, I had a conversation with our editor, and they gave us some feedback about our cursing. So we're already like 2 minutes in. I already dropped the F-bomb.
We gotta change our name.
Yeah,
we're the filtered gamers now.
We got somewhat filtered gamers. Yeah. It's so stupid. Like these platform algorithms are like pops you for like certain words and everything.
Yeah.
That's why like now when you see content creators, they don't say certain words. It's like a flip of the word.
Yeah. I say
So
panini. Stupid.
Nini.
Panini.
For what?
You can't say the P word.
Like what boys have?
No, not that. 2020. Trying to figure out the good way to say it. The PC
the math
way.
stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah. The thing that had everybody.
Period of time, yeah.
Oh, okay. You can't. Yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot. You can't say that word. You can't say the word, even though it was.
You can't say the C word. You probably can't say the Q word.
That's so stupid.
Yeah.
Notice how the media freaking put that stuff on this. You know what? Whatever. I'm not gonna get into the whole tangent here.
Well,
but
yeah,
I was just trying to ask. I was just trying to ask, like, you know, like, did you play the games on like, you know, you're traveling? Because when I do travel for conventions and stuff, I usually have like a handheld. So that's why I bought like the PlayStation Portal, but you need internet connection because you gotta be able to hook up to the PlayStation at home and stuff. And now they have a cloud-based service of it. So if you don't have a PS5 at home, you just use the cloud-based and like connect. But again, you still need to have internet service constantly. But now I have a Steam Deck and I'm able to play games and everything. But a lot of games aren't compatible on the Steam Deck until it's optimized on Steam to make it compatible for the Steam Deck. So yeah, so there's a lot of games that come out for Steam that if you try to play in a Steam Deck and it's not optimized, it's gonna sound like a jet engine going off. It's gonna get super hot and you'll look like PlayStation 1 polygons. Because I tried playing Monster Hunter Wild and that, and it was a whole thing.
Yeah, I've thought about getting one just to offload PC resources since most of the PC games I play are Steam. So I was like, I could just dock it and maybe use it as basically a console. But I have not gotten to one.
Can you dock it? Does it have a dock system? The Steam Deck?
I think so.
I don't think so. I think just talk about the
maybe
Switch.
Maybe not dock it, but you can plug it in. I mean,
plug it in.
Can you not?
It doesn't have a HDMI cord or anything.
You can't plug it into a TV.
I don't think so. I don't think it's plug in the Steam Deck. The handheld, the giant handheld. I think you could plug it in. I think you're thinking about the other one, the older version of it.
The older version.
There was an older version where you literally streamed from the PC to that. I don't think you could plug in the Steam Deck.
Why would they make it so you can't pull it up on your TV? That's crazy. Or your monitor.
Well, why would you want to?
It's Steam Deck to enhance your gaming experience by connecting it to external displays. Yeah, I'm like, that would be crazy if they didn't allow you to use other displays.
But you gotta. Oh, okay. Well, why would I do that when I want it to be handheld?
For the reason that I just stated, so that you can have your Steam games not saved on a PC and not running on a PC if your PC sucks.
Well, you still gotta get like a good amount of space, and you gotta get the externals and everything. The micro USB to put in and save some extra because I think it comes with like 500 gigs.
Imagine you're like a kid, right? And you get a Steam Deck, okay?
I'm a kid. I have a Steam Deck.
All right.
I got money.
And you have like a really crappy PC, and so you're really excited because you can finally play games. And you have a good monitor, but you don't have a good PC because maybe your parents don't know what's up, and then you can now plug it into your monitor.
But what games can you actually play? Because like I said, some of those games aren't fully optimized for the Steam Deck.
Well, I would offload anything onto the Steam Deck.
Holly wants to say hi.
Hi. Murph says hi. He seepins. I mean, my use case is very clear, but I'm in the minority of users, so I'm just trying to imagine another use case for it. I don't know. I don't really see the value of handheld because when I'm on the move, I don't want to be focused on other things. Like if I'm actually in the world, I want to like be present. Like
if you're like on a plane.
If I'm with people, like I want to talk to people, you know. I might do more rare socialization than I used to when I was like full FOMO mode, but when I am out and about, like I'm fully present. I'm not the person like on my phone most of the time.
Well, I use it for like traveling. Sometimes I'm stuck at the airport, delays and stuff.
I actually worked a little bit on the plane and then I slept, and I really only watched maybe like one major thing even on like 40 hours of flying, which was White Lotus. Really wanted to watch that.
A lot of people like that show. A lot of people love that show.
Yeah, it's really good.
It's like seeing rich people suffer.
Yes, it's so good. It's so good.
Speaking of rich people and suffering, Pokimane had some choice words.
See, that made sense.
for you like how I do those, right?
Yeah, that was a good one versus
Quick
the
enough.
one where there wasn't one.
Pokimane has some choice words about the rich, the elites, and if some of you guys don't know who Pokimane is, Pokimane is like one of those top elite streamers who have been in the game for a long time, since like the early days of Twitch, and has made a name for themselves, and is always seems she has some choice words to say just to stay relevant. I feel sometimes, and she recently has come out and said that on a stream, saying that we should be focusing on the rich, and they should be paying their equal dues and shares and stuff, and like we like pretty much we should not like those rich. We should not like that rich. And the guy in the stream with her was just like, but you're a millionaire. You're rich too.
The wealth disparity is getting bad.
The wage gap, I hate that shit.
No, wealth disparity.
Wealth disparity.
Wage gap is like between men and women. Men and women, we love each other.
Facts.
And we hate the rich. Anyways. Too much.
Aren't you the rich?
No! Like the ultra rich, the ultra giga rich, the unnecessarily
You have to clarify.
rich.
They're gonna clip that and it's gonna make you look bad.
And it's kind of like, you're a millionaire. God, I cursed again. You're a millionaire. You're the same. What makes you different? Because you're not a billionaire, you're a millionaire. So they're the different level. So we need to focus on the billionaires,
is she pretending to be
not
poor?
you.
Is she like
What's that?
cosplaying poor? Like what is happening?
I don't know.
So she's
Yeah,
literally
I don't know.
saying like, oh, those rich people.
Yeah, not me is rich. Those rich. It's just like Hassan.
What?
Hassan is like Hassan. Hassan is another one who's like, he's a nepo baby.
Yeah.
And Hassan, again, another streamer. He's like a known streamer, and he's controversial and political stuff. He comes from money. He said multiple times. He said he'd been on stream talking about how, when he was broke, when he was poor. Bro, when were you broke? What is broke to a millionaire? What I want to know, he came from
Was
money.
he
Like when I
really?
say this guy came from money, he came from money.
Did he ever really
These
have like
people-
a broke period of time? Or
What was it? He couldn't afford
I don't know.
a Gucci belt or like a 5-star restaurant. That's broke to millionaires or something. It's like
I don't know.
I'm trying to.
I mean, was he ever poor, or is this like?
No, he was born into money.
Huh.
Was born into money. He's born into
for
money.
sure, Pokimane is rich right now. Like, if she's not,
She's-
then she like squandered her money.
Oh, she's
away.
rich. She's rich. She's not originally from America either.
Yeah, she has to have so much money. I mean, it's absurd.
She has, yeah, and like, I called it out. I call like of course me. I'm on Twitter and like I talk Twitter X, what you want to call it. I talk. And, like people are so quick to defend other rich, like poor people are so quick to defend rich people.
Yeah,
and it
because
depends on the rich
want,
person.
They want to try to get some of the rich, so they're like, look at me.
That's not happening. You sucking off a rich person isn't. Well, it depends, but.
Yeah.
You defending a rich person isn't gonna get them to give you some of their money because they're like, oh, she's talking about the Jeff Bezos who make money off of other people and the corporations and low wages and blah 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 blah.
Anyone who does that hasn't ever actually had conversations with rich people, and you need to get in the rooms with rich people. If you can buy your way into a room with a rich person, that's the first step to getting more money. Get surrounded by rich people, understand how they think, because it's not like they're human just like you, but you literally don't know how they think if you think that groveling at their feet is going to get you anywhere.
Exactly. And it's just, they don't just have to be rich. It's just people with money. When you're in a room with people who have like a substantial amount of money, I'm not talking about millionaires.
New money and old money, to be fair.
Yes.
Those are two very different things. And then there's rich, and then there's like, I own the world. That's two very different things too. There's like all of these different levels to it.
So people are saying like she didn't make her money off the back and labor of others, and I'm just like, she had a whole freaking cookie thing.
Well, the cookie thing isn't like she's. I mean, if people
she was
buy
like
the
selling cookies,
but that's not off the backs of anyone else. That's just cookies.
But okay, wait, hold on. Did they have a factory? Did the cookie? It wasn't like she was making it at home. It was factory.
I mean,
It was
if you want to get real nitty gritty like that, then you and I both make our money off the backs of everybody else too.
But no, we don't
know
have
what I mean?
employees. We don't have employees,
Okay.
and we don't own the company. Her name was tied to the company. That's her company. It was
I
hers.
still think you're getting very nitty gritty with that one.
It's not nitty gritty. It's
she
just
sells
like
some cookies. I don't think she's not getting wealthy off the cookies. You know what I mean? That's
it.
just like
It helps. So wait, you're saying if you have a cookie, if Mad Curious right now had a Mad Curious cookie
it
farm,
would probably take a little while to get to see the profits from that. First of all,
yeah,
She
but
had
you're
to
still
buy
getting some coin.
She had to buy everything, and it was probably quite the investment. And that's not how.
Yeah.
That's just like once you're that rich, you want to have your fingies in a lot of different things so that you diversify
Exactly.
the portfolio, right? That's all it is, and utilizing the strengths, synergies. So of course, she already has a brand. Why would she not try to sell things through it? I don't think out of that, like that is the one to come forward and say like, oh, she's making money off the backs of people. You know what I mean?
I wasn't.
That's just a
I'm just comparing the two because everybody likes to use Jeff Bezos or Elon Musk when people forget Jeff Bezos was literally in a basement starting Amazon, and his wife had to his first wife had to support his business.
Yeah, so he wasn't.
And then it grew.
It depends on a lot of context there, right? So like later on, of course, he has so much that he's running all over.
Yeah.
And once you get to a certain point, it's just an absurd amount of money that no one needs, And I think Pokemon's gotten there too, to be fair, but
but the thing is like I love how people love to attack, like they always throw Jeff Bezos names and talk about the evil corporations or blah blah blah. So stop using Amazon. Just stop using Amazon. You don't stop using Amazon. You just keep using it.
Yeah, that's a tough one because I feel like a lot of people are it's just virtue signaling, and so I think that's kind of where you were going with that. And so they won't say things against like their favorite creators just because they like them, but they'll say things against Bezos all day and then still support him, technically.
Yeah, but it just annoys me that there's always people who have money that try to tell people without money how they need to be mad at certain rich people. It's like pick and choose. Like, don't be mad at me because I'm rich. These people are the same people who say, eat the rich. Don't eat me. Eat the other guy.
Yeah.
I'm good. I'm the good rich person.
Yeah.
I'm rich, but I'm not rich.
Once you hit a point where you have everything you need, if you're not giving away the rest of your money, but you say I'm not the bad rich, you're lying.
Exactly.
That's it. Period.
Exactly. Like you
just claim it. Say, hey, I have money. I like money. I'm happy with my money. I'm comfy. And I'm not giving you guys anything. Fuck you. Like, well, now I curse too. But yeah, that's basically what they're saying.
It's like again, like she made her money. She made her million. She worked. She did what she had to do to get there.
Yeah.
Right. But now it's like, I feel like a lot of people, once they get like a million and stuff, they act like they're not an elite. And especially with streamers, like the bigger streamers, you guys are an elite category, and you guys act elite because you have your own small circles. You guys have your own freaking award event. You have your own award event, an elite. You're elite. You're there.
And they'll
right?
say it's for the people, but they like drop a tiny little bone for still pretty big creators, if we're being honest.
Like once you hit that class of streaming where like the minute before you even go live, or even if you're just stagnant, the minute you go live, you have 10K people sitting there and just dumping donations on you, and like you have deals, like you're not even worried about donations. Like some of these streamers, if they could take a 2-week break and get like banned for 2 weeks, and they're fine, they're surviving.
Not just surviving, they're literally rolling, swimming in their money. Surviving. No, these people are thriving all day, every day. These people make more money than most of us will see in our lifetime in like a year,
And if you think they're paying their fair wages and taxes, then they're definitely not. They're not.
No,
they're
once you get to a certain point. So middle class, for anyone who doesn't know, the middle class is like completely and utterly just demolished because you make a certain amount, but you don't have enough to really protect it or to utilize it correctly. You can play a few of the games, but you're basically just being used as a pawn to help the rich get richer. That's the middle class, right? It's like you're there, you're making it, but you're not going to be able to level up very easily. Whereas
unless
the rich are playing
moves
by a totally different set of rules. They're able to get access to all of these resources that allow them to just it's exponential, all of it. It's why it's hard to get out of poverty, all of it. Once you get to certain levels, it becomes that much easier to level up. Super exponential.
Exactly. And the thing is, like, what people don't understand, like, and I try to tell people all the time, like, the rich will never pay their fair shares because the tax codes are so screwed up and how they're written. When you are taxed, you're being taxed on your annual income. Your annual. You're not taxed on your passive income. The way passive income is taxed is completely. It's a different way of it's done, and it's done in a way where they know how to manipulate it.
Well, in
so
companies
Pokimane,
too, it's the same thing. That's what I used to do in finance. The way that you recognize revenue is what matters. And so if you can make things not be recognized as revenue within that year, you are saving money as it continues to like accumulate more money and more resources. That's the game.
Exactly. So when Pokimane sits there saying she's the goal after we're talking about the elite riches and stuff, like she's amongst that class in a different way where she has said she spends a lot of money to make sure certain things on the internet are scrubbed and clean.
I don't know how much money she has, but that's a person who can easily get
like protect the identity
snap
and
her
stuff.
fingers and be in the room with a billionaire. If you can snap your fingers and be in the room with a billionaire, you're elite rich. Period.
Yeah. I saw a TikTok video, and this lady said, everything is legal if you have enough money.
Yeah, it's true.
And it's 100% true. The more money people have, the more legal stuff becomes, because it's like you could just. Why do you think so many actors and celebrities and all these businesses donate to political campaigns and stuff? They donate because you know why? I gave you some money, so when the time comes, you gotta look out for me when I need it.
They are protected.
They're protected, and it comes into the same world of streaming
That's
stuff
their
too.
Taxes.
Because doing streaming, streaming is a little bit different because like what they're doing, like when you see streamers donate a large amount of money, guess what that is? That's a tax write-off.
But people do. I will say people overestimate the benefits of tax write-offs, though.
In what sense?
Like, people who don't know what tax write-offs aren't overestimating it, but a lot of people who have, like, heard of tax write-offs before, and they're like, yeah, I've done that before, they overestimate the power of tax write-offs. It's only gonna,
it's a...
Like, people say that like it's free money. And no, it's not free money. It's just writing off against your business so that you're not going to be taxed on that income. That's different than...
Yeah.
It's not like, you shouldn't just frivolously spend because it's a write-off. You know what I mean? And so people are like, oh, well, they can do that because it's a write-off. You're still not going to spend frivolously. You still need whatever you wrote off to make money for your business, or eventually you're still going to go negative. So people don't really quite comprehend what that means. It's like, oh, well, I can just buy whatever I want now because write-off. No. If it's not making money, you just made a bad investment still.
Yeah.
It's not.
And you could do it for so long on your taxes before the IRS says, like, this is a hobby. Stop. You suck. It's a hobby. We're done giving money. I know a lot of people, especially like streamers, a lot of streamers don't know how to do their taxes.
Everybody should hire an accountant unless you are unless you are literally the type of accountant that can handle what you're doing. Hire one. What are you doing? That is the first and pretty much only thing that I have on a regular basis.
And we spoke about this in our early podcast. Like, you're a 1099 worker for Twitch. Once you become affiliate, you're a 1099 worker. And some people make like, a good chunk every month. I'm not saying like you're making like streamers who accidentally leak their monthly earnings, which is they don't accidentally leak it. Yeah. They do that on purpose as a flex. Because how do you leak that your stats? You're sharing your screen.
You know how like people, especially women, like flock to serial killers. There's like this whole thing where they like send fan mail to serial killers.
Yeah, explain that to me. You're a woman.
Explain that. Okay, so that is the same as like giving money to the elite rich streamers. That's the same concept. It's like this. Not quite understanding what it even means and being very curious about it, and then like supporting something that doesn't make sense to support.
Right. It doesn't make sense why you guys still are attracted to guys who can literally murder you in your sleep.
Right. Just like, why would you give money to somebody who's rich when you're struggling? Both are insane.
Ah, I see. You hit the nail on the head. I get like those things come from ad revenues and other sources and stuff, but like those people aren't. Does not accents. But when you make a little bit of money and stuff, let's say by the end of the year, if you made let's say you made 20K in Twitch. You made 20K. That's a good year. If you're a small streamer, you make 20K for the year in Twitch. That's pretty decent. But how much did you spend on games, new PC parts, and all that stuff? Those are all write-offs that you could be putting. If you
And
went to
that's why people
TwitchCon
will
to
be
promote,
like, "Oh, TwitchCon is a write-off." Okay, yeah, but
It
did
is.
you generate any income from it? Because if you didn't, that's a write-off that still didn't generate any of the income that you just mentioned. You know what I mean?
correct.
And so some of it will be more indirect than others. Some of it will be more long-term investment than others. And so you have to look at all of it. And if most of what you didn't generate income and didn't have any long-term benefit either, then you've got to rethink your strategy. And so when people are just like,
Yeah.
"Oh, well, go on all these trips and do all this stuff because it's write-offs," they're missing the point of what a write-off is.
Yeah. So you just gotta be smart with that. Again, I mean, I'm not a business. I mean, I can talk business, but when it comes to the financial stuff and business and stuff, I'm not. I have like I'm not advanced. I'm like a novice at it. But there's people who just know this stuff. And again, the big
Me.
streamers,
I
especially
did.
partner streamers, they have people doing handling that stuff for them. They have to pay somebody for
And
that.
I know
'Cause, like,
finance really well, but the first thing I hired was an accountant because I know that I don't know tax law, right? And so
Yeah.
I would have to keep up with that year after year after year and then worry about filing it myself. I can pay. That is the first thing that I want to pay someone to do. Just like if I were a big streamer, the second thing I would buy is a lawyer on retainer. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because then you can just ask them questions about all sorts of things that you might be getting into trouble with when you're that big and you have a lot of people, a lot of eyes on you. You know?
it's kind of funny that you speak about that, like hiring the manager and stuff. I just like fell down this weird rabbit hole of VTuber drama. Don't ask why. I just fall down rabbit holes. You know, I fall down the
Well, we
rabbit hole.
talked about you having a background with VTubing already.
Shut up. Shut up. Anyway, I fell on some weird rabbit hole about this one VTuber. I've seen their stuff when I was at TwitchCon, and I've seen like their cutouts because at TwitchCon, people want to go meet these VTubers, and there's a person carrying their cutout, and then it's like on screen. I don't get it. It's whatever. Or like the girls would dress up as their avatar and stuff, and wear like a face mask. So they're in the avatar's costume, but you can't see their face because they're wearing a mask. Very weird. Whatever. This one VTuber, another VTuber came out and kind of exposed them for what her and her manager, who's her boyfriend / partner or whatever, was manipulating and made a blacklist of people that she can't work with. This VTuber is also an artist too. They make models and costumes. It was this whole manipulation thing where they're like, "Oh, don't make models and arts for this person. Cancel it. We'll pay you for that because if you constantly make more like costumes and models for other people, it replenishes your art. It's no longer unique."
Do these people not have
But if you're making it for
anything better
us-
to worry about? That is just so. You just named so much drama. I couldn't even quite follow it.
Dude, it was like a whole thread. It was one Google Doc. Then to come to find out, it's 5 docs
This is
out there.
full on first world problems at its finest. Like, get a life. What the hell?
It's on me to get a life for like.
Not you. These people. Like, no, going down a rabbit hole is natural. We need something sometimes to just let our brains breathe. But these people like that are writing how much did you say Google Doc? Like going
It was
down
a
all
it was
this
a
drama
it was a it was a
and then, like,
pretty
coming
long
after
Google Doc.
people and doing all this
But no,
stuff.
wait, hold on.
Relax, man.
This person wasn't going after
Relax.
anybody. This person was just exposing it. Like, this is what happened to me. This VTuber was the one who was being manipulated by a bigger VTuber. Again, this
Sounds
goes
like a
back
lot
to this
of
whole thing, but
drama.
it's like
Unless
it's like this whole
like a
network.
crime, let it go. Unless it's a straight up crime that you need to warn people about because somebody's like out here causing real danger havoc, just let it go. Relax.
Well, they were
Nobody
causing
cares.
danger havoc in the
I mean, I guess
in the
people do
big
care 'cause people
VTuber
love
community.
drama and they eat it up. It's just clickbait at the end of the day. If you're just sharing drama that has doesn't have actual crime danger associated with it, you're just doing it for clicks. Be honest. Be honest.
They
You know
want
what
to
you're
they want to bring attention to the predatory people in those worlds, in the circle.
Manipulative behavior, of course. Yeah,
In the
yeah,
circle, yeah.
Uh-huh.
Even though they
Of course
participate.
are. Unless it's a crime, no, they're not. No, they don't.
You're so cynical. It's like, I don't give 2 craps about that, man.
I've been
There's
here
no
too
crime
long.
happening
I
here.
tell you what what? I've been in this industry too long. See
but it kind of goes into our next situation with people virtue signaling, and virtue signaling is something that it's so annoying and like just
I can't.
makes my brain itch, and it's just like you're not doing nothing. You're pretending to care, but you really don't care. You don't really want to fight the fight. You want to look like you're fighting the fight, but you stand in the back.
As somebody
it's
who
easier.
just
You're
spends
not
a lot
out
of
there in
time
the trenches.
offline, just literally turn off the device. Put the phone away. You know the joke about go outside, it's real. Literally just go observe humanity for a moment. Like, just put the phone down, dude.
So Razer, the well-known gaming products where they got laptops, headphones, ergonomic chairs. They're like the big thing. They're like, if you a gamer,
They're all crappy,
Razer's where they go.
Real bad quality. I had a Razer keyboard and it I actually have a Razer mouse pad right here, to be fair, but the keyboard I had was absolute garbage. Like, destroyed my computer processing. Don't download anything Razer on your computer. It's awful.
So
awful.
Razer came out because they put out a quick like a graphic, a photo.
I actually invested in them at one point. Now that I think about it,
like you have stocks.
Stock. I did at one point.
Let's talk after the stream about that. I want to see what the stock is at right now. It's probably dropping. Just you buy the dip. Anyway,
it was a while ago. I mean, it was ages. I sold it ages ago.
So it was like to promote some headphones or anything, but it was AI generated. Okay. You know how everybody hates AI. You know the people who hate AI. It's the people who don't work in the industry or kind of work in the industry but don't really get work.
You know who it is?
Like that?
Do you remember our last episode? It might not be the last. Anyway, you know who it is, right? Are you ready? Cowards. It's just out of fear.
Yes.
Anybody who is anti-AI is just a coward.
Yes. So everybody's upset at Razer because they use AIs, and all these content creators are saying you could have got like a streamer, a content creator that could help promote this. This is sad. You guys are a big company. Blah blah blah. And Razer this, Razer bad. Razer should use AI. Support real artists. Support real people. Blah blah blah. Okay. Here's business 101. If I can save money somewhere, I'm going to do that option. Because you know why? I am a company. I am a corporation. I have shareholders. I have profit margins to meet every year, every quarter, or whatever, right? So if I can save a couple of $1,000s, I'm going to do what it takes. Understand this.
Think they're gonna win.
Here's business 101. Here's another tip. If I get a YouTuber, let's say I go for a YouTuber, right? I'm gonna go for, let's say, Matt Curious. I'm gonna go for Matt Curious right now. Matt, I'm a big company, Razer. I want to promote you, and you be the face of Razer for this next coming ad.
How much
you're gonna say? That's the first thing you're gonna ask me. How much am I going to pay you? Okay, Matt. What is your offer?
Yeah.
I want to offer
so we
you.
have to talk rates.
Okay, so here's my rate.
Packages.
I'm gonna offer you a $5,000 deal and send you some free stuff. You have to give me 10 videos within the 4 months.
5 videos
Deal?
and 750. 7,500.
What?
7,500 and 5 videos.
7,500 5 videos?
Yeah.
5,000 and that's it. That's what I'm offering you.
5 videos.
10 videos.
5 videos.
8 videos.
Throw in some extra peripheral giveaways.
Done.
All right.
Okay, now I just made that deal, right? I got $5,000. Cool. Matt, I gotta have you now. I want to take some pictures of you, right? We're gonna have you come out. Are you able to fly out here? Are you on the accord?
Pay for it.
Okay, no problem. We'll pay for it. All right. Now we're gonna get you some hair and makeup. I gotta pay that person to do the hair and makeup.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta get the cameraman to take the pictures of you. I gotta make sure the lighting is everything is good. I gotta make sure the area and everything is good, right? I just dropped all this money to have Matt Curious promote my stuff.
Yep.
Now Matt has a decent following. I have to hope and pray Matt's followings meet and buy my stuff. I hope they buy my stuff. They don't have to buy it right now, but you know what? It's more eyes, more ears, more sight and stuff. Okay. Matt curious, you promised me 8 videos. You only gave me 3.
Yeah, and so it has to be that collaboration between the two, the synergies of it, because not only are they buying, you and your presence on their content, they're buying a space in your content. So they're also like advertising through you. And that's part of it because you're buying a partnership, They don't just like usually buy a picture from someone most of the time.
Yeah, and now your face is on there and everything. They put money into you. I spent that much money, and I don't really see much from it, but it's something.
Yep.
Now it's like, all right, I can just get an AI model. It's gonna cost me a good AI software, $200, and I'm done.
And so they lose
it's
the
mine.
advertising portion of that because they're not partnering with someone, but it was basically free. You know what I mean? Like it cost them however much
pennies on the dollar.
Yeah, it's nothing. It's absolutely nothing. Like, why would they not do that occasionally for like a small social post? You know what I mean? It was literally a small social post. Razer socials are not like popping or whatever the kids are saying these days. It's not like they're getting millions of likes on a Twitter post. It's like, okay, they probably got the most traction on that Twitter post than they have in ages. You know what I mean? And so why would they waste thousands of dollars for a photo shoot and a little bit of advertising space for one creator when they could instead just get it done and focus their resources on some other stuff they're working on, most likely, right? So hopefully better products. Their products are crazy.
Yeah, and now you see people are coming out saying, Razer, I could have done it for free. I could have done this for this. When it's all BS because you are the same people who had this whole campaign saying, pay me my worth. Pay me my worth. You guys, some of your worth is not as much as you think it is.
And so they'll say both in the same breath, right? They'll be like, oh, pay me what I'm worth. You need to pay creators. Why aren't you paying creators? Like, blah, 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 blah. And they'll come out with all this stuff about like how companies haven't treated them right, which is fair, right? We want to be treated right. I'm not saying that's bad. But then they'll come in and they'll say, oh, well, you also used AI here. You can't have it both ways. If we're going to fight to be treated right, we have to understand that sometimes we're going to be replaced. That's just part of the game.
And that's just, everybody should know, in a company, you are replaceable. Every content creator, especially in Twitch, you don't think they can make another Ninja? You don't think they can make another XQC, another Kai Cenat, another Speed? They can make another one if they want to.
If you can't compete with
everybody's
AI,
replaceable.
Okay, so productivity isn't everything, but if you can't compete with an AI, you're not being productive enough. You haven't created a value that's worth anything to the market. And that's not saying that you're not valuable as a person and that you don't have things to offer, okay? But if your job can be done by a robot, then what you're doing is no longer valuable to society. That's it. And so it's like art in general, right, has been replaced over and over and over again. Photography, for instance, has maybe to some degree replaced painting, but are there still painters? Is there still value in that? People drawing as well, and now we've turned it into digital drawing, which has now become its own entire industry of animation. Think about the ways that these things change over time and create new jobs, and sometimes have jobs fall off, or sometimes have things where the people who do become the cream of the crop and rise up, they get loads more money than they would have before. They go from like, bottom tier poverty level to something where they're being paid the most. Think about like court jesters to now superstar actors, which are now being dethroned by content creators that are of every tier imaginable. And so
exactly,
you have to look at these things with context, and people just don't. They take all the context out. They see it in black and white and they say, AI bad. If company uses AI, I try to cancel company. This is my virtue signal today. You're the robot.
Yeah, and people constantly do it. You're constantly virtue signaling. And I've seen creators kind of take pictures of themselves and say, hey, Razer, use this instead. And it's like, your lighting is bad. How long did it take you to do your makeup? How long did it take you to set that up and everything? Now imagine imagine somebody paying somebody to do that. And there's companies who just say, do bare minimum. There's companies who say, take a picture of yourself, add our logo, your promotion code, and that's it. You do it yourself. Because you know why? It's cheaper that way for them. That's it. They
And
don't have to
so
pay anybody.
if you
Do you
want
guys
them
not
to
use
pay
this?
you instead of AI, you've got to create a separate type of value that AI can't do. And there will always be a value to that. There is a value to human life and human essence and communication from human to human. There's always going to be value there. So if you're not creating that, then you are just wasting space in that part of the industry. You're just doing it because you're like, well, I'm pretty, so they should have pictures of me. Well, now they can create pretty on AI, so get good. Do something else.
Yeah. I
Be
mean,
unique in a different way.
there's already an AI Twitch streamer who's like
Sorry they took away
killing
your
it.
easy mode. Try something else.
Like AI is here, and you guys wanted it. It's here now, and it's evolving.
It's also not
You
going to
guys are
replace
using.
everything. Like, have you seen that guy who did live streaming as like an AI version of himself? It was creepy as hell. It's definitely not valuable. Nobody wants to watch that. You're not connecting with the real
But
human.
people watching it. People watch AI girls right now
That's true.
and jerk off to them.
That's actually fair. That's a good point. So there is value to it. It's just a different value, right? It's going to be different than if you're connecting with a real human. And so if you can't compete with that, like, then you're not offering anything unique. That's it.
There's people, but the thing is, here's the thing: why some people would rather communicate with AI when it comes to stuff and deal with AI. One is cheaper, faster. Also, AI doesn't judge you.
Yeah, they don't have fear of judgment. And so, what are we getting into again?
Cowards.
Yeah. Everything pretty much boils down to people being cowards. All of our human issues are interpersonal cowardice issues.
So it's like, but also there is the downside to AI. AI is not going to give you that hard, tough love that you need to hear. It's going to tell you what you want to hear, but it's never going to tell you what you need to hear.
You could prompt it to give you some tough love. I have.
No, but it shouldn't be
prompt. Like, find the biggest, find all of the mistakes in this logic. Roast me. Tell me why I'm wrong.
My God.
You don't. No,
it should be. You see, you got it. I don't use AI that much.
You should.
But like, I don't sit there. Somebody told me you should try talking to AI as like, as a friend. Like, no, what? I'm not.
Oh, not as a friend, but like, I couldn't remember the word montage a few minutes ago, so I described it to it, which normally I would have like texted a friend, but that friend might be busy, and so I know AI is not busy.
So they mentioned that too. The person I was talking to is like, sometimes they don't feel like they want to bother somebody with some things.
Yeah.
And that's a fear. That's something. That's all fears you create in your mind.
You haven't said hi in ages, and you're just like, what's the word for that thing that has like a series of things that are kind of in one theme, and it starts with an M, and they used it a lot in 90s movies? Montage, right?
They still use it today. Like.
Yeah, but that.
Okay,
yeah.
Maybe you're just a shitty friend and text your friends more. How about that?
I don't text people enough, to be fair, but
you don't. I got like drag Matt to like remind her of the show. She's so busy, and I'm like, hey, we gotta record, and she's like, man,
drained. It's because I am. I have drained myself of all of my energy, and I'm about to do like a potentially week-long event, maybe longer.
What are you doing this time?
Platinum of Last of Us 2.
This woman has played this game like 20 times, and it's like, I can't. Speaking of games, this new game just came out, Expedition 33. It's called. I think it's like Obscure something.
It's funny that you just roasted me for playing the same game over and over, because I'm like, that game looks cool, but it also looks like not my vibe. Because it's like, it looks like my vibe, but then it also, the gameplay is turn-based, and I feel like they were trying to make turn-based cool. And it's working because a lot of people are really into it. I even saw someone mention like 2 other games with it, and they were like, "Oh, I don't like turn-based, but I like these 3 games." And somebody was like, "I hate to break it to you, but you like turn-based."
Yeah.
And so it's like these things that are trying to turn that genre on its head. But like me, if I see something that's like top-down, I'm automatically like, nah, not into it. And then if I see turn-based, I'm like, not into it. No, not for me.
So what Expedition 33 is a turn-based fantasy game, like within like the 1970s or some 1960s. It looks like the BioShock age and stuff, and whatever. And it's turn-based. But what it does is a system where when the enemy attacks you, you can like, if you hit the button at the right time, you can dodge or parry the attack. There's some attacks you can dodge and parry. That instantly reminded me of Lost Odyssey. There's a game called Lost Odyssey that was turn-based, just like that. But like, if you're attacked, right? When you want to attack, of course the attack's gonna hit. But if you want to do more damage, this ring will come up. So the ring will start closing like that. If you hit the ring just right, you did stronger damage. Now, when the enemy attacks you, if you timed it just right, you would dodge it. It's just that you have to be good at the dodging mechanics. Legend of Dragoon did the same thing. A Legend of Dragoon is an old PlayStation 1 game. So that is not a new system. It's just a system that you don't see much. And a lot of people are going to probably say, well, no, Final Fantasy 13 kind of had that, where it's like free roam attacks. But the thing was with Final Fantasy 13 is that they had the stagger system, but you had to make sure you do certain continuous hits to stagger the enemy to do more damage. It wasn't like, and it did have some kind of like small sequences. If you hit it just right, it'll go perfect.
Yeah, so it's like different
But at the end of the
variations
day,
of kind of similar things. And it's not.
Was that?
It's different variations of similar things. And so when people are like, "Oh,
Yeah.
this has been done before," it really hasn't. And especially within the context of the game, seeming like a lot of really cool that like AAA experience where
Yeah.
the cinematics look really good. It has the fantasy element of like most of the games that people really like. I'm very tired of fantasy. I have very little interest in it, but it's very popular, and so it's got all of these elements that you would think would have been a giant team. It was like 20 people or something. So. Good for them.
She
They've
says
accomplished a lot.
she's tired of fantasy, but she's playing Assassin's Creed, which has like yokai and stuff in it.
No, like you know what I'm talking about, like the medieval magic fantasy that's like in every fucking game. I cursed again, but
how you know that's not fantasy? How you know that really happened in the medieval times? Were you around?
what? I don't care if it was realistic or not. I just don't want to play it. It's just one style of game. Whereas Assassin's Creed is in different periods of history, different eras in different locations. And
So you don't like
the magic is also
Okay.
built into a bit of a sci-fi world, so it's not like it's different.
before I jump down your throat on this stuff, and roast, like not roast you, but like grill you and
Yeah, it would have. I don't know
try
about
to,
you can roast me all you want, but it's not.
I'm not gonna
change my
roast you.
opinion.
I'm not gonna roast you. I'm just gonna tell you why I feel you're wrong and you are wrong.
It's
But
like I see like every game looks like Elden Ring. You know what I mean? It's just like it's all. It's just, it all looks the exact
Stop.
same. And it's all like
we'll come back to this.
battles over and over.
Time out.
Oh,
Time
I'm
out.
so
We'll come
tired of
back.
it,
We'll
dude.
come back. Stop. We'll come back. We'll come back because
It just gets
I
so
don't know.
boring.
we'll come back to that. But this game right now has like it's really, like you said, it's a team of like 20, 30 people, and it's been doing really good. It's very successful. But with every game that's doing successful, there's always the plebs that are so like, I don't know, they're so addicted to calling something woke.
Yes.
They come out the wet work saying like, oh, it has black this and black that, and it's not black because it has a female, and it's like, just because it has a black person or female doesn't mean the game is woke.
They're just looking for it anywhere that they can find something that they can label as woke. They do, and they can do it to any game. Like if you remember the woke list episode, you can do it to literally any game. It's absurd. It's like exhausting behavior to do that. To be honest, they live in a misery world.
It's just sad because if you can't enjoy things, there was another game that came out recently. It was like something Midnight. It was
South of
some
Midnight?
weird. Was it that? What's the name of it? Path of Midnight?
South of Midnight. That's not it.
Yeah.
There's something in my brain that said that, so it must be.
Yeah. So Path of South of Midnight. That was a game that came out. It's really different, really new and stuff. Good game. Good story. It got bad criticism at the game towards the end because it uses models from another game, and then when you get to like the final bosses, it's the same character models again, just reshaded. So that's why people was like, it starts good and it's like falls flat. Like the team was just like, just do this, just do that.
I mean, a shortcut isn't like a few shortcuts aren't necessarily going to make me not like a game. I mean, people like, for instance, Pokemon, right? Like people love Pokemon and all they do is take shortcuts.
Disagree with you,
Dude.
on it.
The Scarlet and Violet, I enjoyed it a lot actually. It grew
Never
on me
played
a lot.
it.
I really enjoyed it, but you could literally walk 5 seconds and have the same character model 5 times.
It's the same Pokemon.
No, like the people too.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about enemy types in the game.
Yeah, but like certain games are gonna choose where they're going to focus, And so not
Yeah,
every
but that's
game has to
lazy.
have everything. It's like calling, oh, this game doesn't have swimming, and so it's lazy. It's like you got to put it in the context. You know what I mean?
No, I guess, but like when I fight the same enemy, but he's just a different shade, it's annoying. It's like,
Well, unless
you
they're
guys really-
changing you more than they're changing the enemies. You know, some games are more focused on how you use your tools rather than. So for me, it's more contextual. I'd have to see the real example of it.
it's obviously it's just poor. I don't like it. I don't like games like if I work my it's like if I work and get all these skills and everything, and then like the enemy types are just like it's a different color and they're not even strong and everything. It just feels like why am I just what was the point of me getting some of these abilities and everything? It's kind of
that
boring.
was my complaint with like Red Dead. You know, the AI was all the same.
Yeah, that was you was just highly upset about that game.
Well,
And,
we've come to terms now, but
you may reconcile with it. You made peace with Red Dead Redemption.
I have, yeah.
Well,
I like the.
but
ambience.
Expedition 33 looks is a very interesting game. I'm interested in playing it. Charlie Cox.
Can I
If
buy
you don't know
your,
who Charlie Cox
can
is?
I buy your save file when you're done? I want to make ambience videos of it, but I don't want to play it. It looks beautiful.
file.
I just don't want to play. I don't want to play turn-based.
Just try it. Try it.
It
Give it a little
looks
taste. You
miserable.
might like
I
it.
did a little bit with like Pokemon, but I didn't enjoy that much. I just liked hopping around.
It's like eating vegetables for the first time. You're like, don't like it, but then you
But like
you try. You're like,
it could
like
be
it.
like real time, and it's just not. You know.
Oh my god. Not everything needs to be real time. But Charlie Cox is in it. He's one of the main characters. Charlie Cox is the man who played Daredevil in a live action show. And that's all I really know him from is Daredevil because I mean,
I don't know what any of that means.
what do you mean you don't know? Do you
You're
not know
speaking
who
like
Daredevil is?
You're speaking a foreign language over here.
Do you not know who Daredevil is?
No.
It's a Marvel character. He's blind. He's a lawyer, but he has an alter ego that he calls himself Daredevil.
Okay.
You're somebody. Okay, there's an off. We had an off podcast topic. Matt is this huge nerd, and she's a huge nerd and like comic book geek when it comes to DC characters and DC characters only. Because she watches Legend of Tomorrow and she's like she fangirl. She fangirls DC characters.
I got HBO
She's like,
for Last of Us, and when I was like feeling really bad the other day, I was looking for something to watch while I was like jet lagged and like half out of it. And I realized there were 2 new seasons of Harley Quinn that I hadn't watched, and I binged those. So good.
did you watch the Superman, the newest Superman show too?
No.
There's like a new version. There's like a newer Superman where it's like
Probably not for me, to be fair. I like very specific things. Even
So,
in the
but
DC
okay,
universe.
here's the specific thing she
Legends of
likes.
Tomorrow and Harley
CW
Quinn.
shows, the bad CW shows, that
Harley Quinn and Legends of
Arrowverse.
Tomorrow. Arrow was good for a few seasons.
Yeah,
It gets a little
half
bit
the time
wild, but
when
I like Legends of Tomorrow.
when the Arrow first came out, it was just like every other montage of him training, he's shirtless. And I'm like, why is he always shirtless? Like, what is happening here? I'm like, I'm not
because if
I'm not
you
a teen
have
girl.
abs, why would you wear a shirt?
like,
Obviously, like no,
so
truly, because
I should not wear a shirt anymore. I shouldn't
out,
wear shirts then
if
because I
you-
got muscles.
if
I'm not
you're-
gonna wear shirts
Yeah, if you're working out, why would you wear clothes if you don't have to?
because I'm modest.
But like, it's not like he's
That-
It's not like he's
that- that-
breaking the
that- that-
fourth wall knowing there's a camera there. You know what I mean? He's just
I
working out
know.
in his basement or whatever, his lair.
But she's just. But
Like,
going back to this, Matt is a huge comic book nerd for DC.
I'm not
She
a comic book
fangirls
nerd.
DC.
I've never
She
read
fangirl
I've never
DC.
read those types of comic books. I read like the Sunday funnies, you know what I mean? But I never read like that kind of comic book. I just
Okay,
really like
she's a-
Legends of Tomorrow and Harley Quinn. That's it.
So you watched the Harley Quinn show
partially
and
because I really like that they're gay. I'm the gay audience. I don't want to be like pandered to, but
but it's good. It's doing it for me.
if it's done right, like I think it is in both of those. Yeah, I like it.
I haven't watched the Harley Quinn cartoon. Is this the
'Cause
cartoon or
it's
are you
not
talking
like
about
a gay story. It's just the gay is there. You know, that's when I like it.
So you're talking about the cartoon or like this live action Harley Quinn?
Yeah, it's so good. The cartoon.
But which one are you talking about? The cartoon or live action?
Is there a live action?
Okay, so you talk about the Harley Quinn cartoon.
Is there a live action?
I
You mean like
I
the
mean,
movies? The movies aren't that
yeah.
good, though.
Okay, so you talk about the Harley Quinn show. Just say yes or no. The
Yes.
cartoon.
Yes.
Okay, I'm trying to ask you. You're like, huh? You're like looking
Yes.
at me crazy.
Yes.
I haven't watched it. I've heard it's really good. I've
It's
seen
really
like
good.
clips of it.
It's so funny.
Yeah,
It's
and I like
absurd.
that it has
But
like
that's
the
the thing.
other
I like
DC
the
characters.
absurd ones. And so Legends of Tomorrow and Harley Quinn both lean into how absurd they are. Whereas like Marvel takes itself way too seriously as the popcorn
No, it
bullshit
doesn't.
it
See,
is.
see, you don't watch hot. You don't watch it. You're speaking from the outside.
No,
Have you
I
watched
watched-
Guardians of the Galaxy?
Yes.
Stop. Have you watched Guardians of the
Yes,
Galaxy?
I did.
Okay, that
It's
you
taking
think they
itself
take
too
themselves seriously?
Yes.
No, they don't.
Yes. It
What
was
do you mean?
fine.
How-
Like I didn't mind the watch, but it certainly isn't something I want to watch again.
What about Ant-Man?
You don't want to hear my opinions on Ant-Man.
What's your opinions of Ant-Man?
Out
Tell
of
me.
all the like 6,000 Marvel characters that they could choose from, they chose Ant-Man, a man that can shrink. Really? Okay.
And he could
cool.
grow big. He's a pivotal character.
Wow.
Wait a
Out of
minute. In Legends of
all the
Tomorrow,
things-
stop. Legends of Tomorrow, the Atom.
Mhm.
Dr.
Yeah,
Adam.
and
What's his power?
And they make
What's his
fun of
power?
it. Yeah, it's the same thing, but they make fun of it. That's the
Okay,
whole
but-
difference. They don't take
but-
themselves seriously. The whole thing
but-
is once he like when his suit he's useless without his suit other than being a scientist, and then he's like, okay, well
Yeah.
at least I can be a scientist and he can help with certain things. But like there's a whole plot about him finding his value outside of that because it's silly. He just has a suit.
Yeah, and his suit, when he's small, he could do certain things. He could do certain operations and certain tasks, like planting a kryptonite freaking shard in Superman's brain. That's injustice. Yeah, it's a different thing. But don't jazz hand, don't sass me, woman.
Legends of Tomorrow is funny. That's not funny. That was probably a serious moment for them. Was it a funny moment or was it a serious moment?
It became funny because Ra's al Ghul showed up and told Superman to breathe this thing in, and what it was this neurotoxin that got to his brain and bloodstream and killed the Atom. It targeted the Atom and killed him, so the Atom died inside Superman's body. So, I mean, Ant-Man does the same thing.
DC.
Like, huh?
That's DC's.
That's-
So yeah, it was funny.
Yes. Yeah, and Marvel does the same thing. Ant-Man has
make it
tried.
funny?
Yes, Ant-Man.
Or do they try
they're-
too hard to try to make it funny?
Oh
and
my
it's not
god,
actually funny?
you're just a hater. You know what I hate? See, look at my shirt. This is an Ant-Man shirt.
I
Ant-Man.
I
shirt.
just actually did a spit take. I didn't realize you were wearing an Ant-Man shirt this whole time.
What's so funny about it? I don't see what's so funny.
Imagine, like, if you could choose any superpower in the world, which you are choosing to wear any superhero in the world, and you wore the one that can shrink.
And grow big. And shrink, grow big, control ants.
Ants, yeah, wow. Out of all the things you could control.
You ever got bit by an ant?
Out of all the things, yeah, man, I would definitely
Oh my
choose
god,
ants.
you are just. I can shrink down to the size of an ant and still keep the strength of a full-size person.
Wow.
And it's multiplied by 10 because
Super-
ants could carry.
You got me. That's super cool.
I hate you so much. Why are you like this? Why? I don't see what's so like wrong about that. Like,
It's just so lame. So lame.
how is it lame? That's not. I'm not getting a debate with you about like what superpower. What superpower? Who would you be from DC? Since DC is so practical and blah. The superheroes
I
are
don't
so
think I'd be
good.
anyone, to be honest. But like, if I were to choose a superpower, maybe like reading minds or invisibility. But like, or like.
So you'd be an invisible woman. That's it. You'll be an invisible woman.
I'm just saying cooler superpowers than shrinking.
So being invisible and reading minds is cooler than shrinking down size to the
Reading
ant or
minds
growing.
could literally have you understanding all of humanity on a much more
No, it
significant
doesn't.
level than
No,
we
it
do.
doesn't.
Because
No.
you'd be able to literally hear people's thoughts, and you'd be able to decipher the differences between how everyone thinks and also predict behavior. There's a lot that can come from that.
So you want to sit there and just read minds all day? You think reading people's minds would be
That's essentially
good
like
at all.
watching TV. What are you talking about?
what?
It's like watching TV. We're watching stories unfold. You get to watch that, but through like hearing people's thoughts. It's crazy, dude.
Yeah,
That's
but
what you get
some
on TV
people's thoughts.
and books.
But some people's
and stories.
thoughts are horrible. Could you imagine walking around hearing people's thoughts? And like you said, like there's some creepy guys around. Could you imagine you hearing the thoughts of a creepy guy and you're just like reading his
imagine the
mind?
way that
And
you could change the world if you could.
it's like he's like, all right, what is I want to
Yeah.
mega mind you? Like, I know what you're thinking.
Imagine what you could do with that information. Yes, absolutely.
Like what? What can you
Information
do
is
with the
power.
information, mega mind?
Whatever I want.
Like
Tell
what?
people.
Tell me. Tell people what?
You could predict behavior if people are thinking things.
Okay, that's Minority Report then.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Oh my god,
Better
you
than
have the
Ant-Man.
lamest power. Yo, if I was Ant-Man, right? If I had Ant-Man powers,
Or
I
like
could make a
being
whole
able
bunch
to
of ants.
predict the future, time travel, teleportation. There's
So booster
many
gold.
flying, like Superman. I don't know. Anything is better than just shrinking, dude. I don't want to live like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. That's a nightmare.
You don't have to live like.
That's not cool. That's a nightmare.
You don't have to live like that though. But you could shrink down, do what you gotta do. You could
I don't
you
want
could
to.
help humanity. I could call a whole bunch of ants to just bite you in your sleep, or annoy you, disable your computers and stuff.
Nah, I'm good. Nah, I'm good.
Nah,
I'm good. I don't want it.
you just
I
don't like
I don't want
ants.
that
Are you
power.
afraid of ants?
No, that's why
I
I,
think
don't
you're
want
afraid
that
of ants.
power.
You see, you don't know how to use it. That's why.
It's a lame power. You could have chosen to wear this.
You're
the
a lame
t-shirt
power.
Of any superhero, and you chose the one that shrinks and controls ants.
So? Yeah, and he could grow big. You're leaving out the point that he could grow big too.
You seem really intent on that one.
I'm not having this conversation is
seems
over.
like, I feel like that's just a man thing with their.
How was that a man? What?
With
Oh,
their
whoa,
P
whoa,
words.
whoa, 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 whoa! I see what you did there. I saw what you did. I just got it. I just got it.
Got him.
Like,
Got him.
I'm like,
I think it's
wait,
just like
it's a man thing.
you know how like men make like phallic images of what's it called, like in every landmark. Yeah, that's and like pretty much any tool and anything that they build in general, it's like
This
gotta
looks
be
like a
phallic.
giant.
Yeah.
A giant. What's another name? A pecker.
Yeah.
A Rodney.
That's
So you
what
think Ant-Man
is.
equates to that?
Yeah. It's just people.
That's so dumb. Why do you automatically go to that? Like, oh, that's it.
Because you
Talk
kept
about
focusing
a
on the
man's little
growing.
beat.
I wasn't. I
Because-
was just saying like he shrinks, and you were like, but he also grows.
That's one of his powers too. He shrinks and he grows.
Great.
Great. You know what? You're so. You're just so. Sometimes, Matt, I
He could
question
have time
things.
traveled with a bunch of his buddies and, messed everything up and had a lot of fun doing it. Did his best.
Is that what you would do?
That's Legends of
Time travel
Tomorrow.
mess things up.
That's Legends of Tomorrow, and that is absolutely what I would do. I would.
Yeah, and you know who?
If I could have one thing, they're basically like time pirates. Yes, please put me on that. That is what I would want to do out of all the things, bro.
Yeah, but have you never watched or seen a Flash movie? When you mess with time, it causes ripples.
Yeah. I watched all of
Back to
Legends
the
of
Future.
Tomorrow.
Yeah,
They have
you can't mess with time.
consequences. Yes, but the whole thing. Have you seen it? There's a whole plot
No,
around that
I
for
know.
the whole series.
Yeah, I don't like
Basically,
the live action
the whole
DC
fir-
stuff. Like
so
this.
the whole first season is basically like they're trying to stop somebody who is reincarnating, and then they realize in finding that it might have been the second season. Anyway, they realize in finding that there are these time people that are trying to stop them, and when they find those time people, they realize that they've been controlled this entire time. And so these time people have been like controlling everyone's direction forever, and they don't actually have real freedom. There's no free will. So they break the thing that is preventing them from having free will. And then they finally have free will for the first time. And they're like, okay, so now what do we do with our time travel ability? And it like spirals from there. And every time they fix something, they break something else. And it's beautiful because they're just a mess. They're just having fun, doing their best and fucking up, messing up. So
it's the Flashpoint times 20.
I don't know what that is, but sure.
You don't know what Flashpoint is?
I don't do
You
pop
watch
culture,
all these
you know
DC
this.
stuff.
I don't watch all this DC stuff. I just like Legends of Tomorrow, and I watch
Go
a little
watch
bit of Arrow. And
Go
I
watch Flashpoint today. Go watch it in the background. You can put it in the background. You can put it in the background as you edit.
Yeah, with all of my time, sure. I'll do that.
Well, maybe if you could time travel and slow time down, you could,
And
have
this is
more
why
time.
I'd like to time travel. Imagine. Imagine.
But there's people who control time in Marvel. Got the Aya Agamotto, Doctor Strange.
And they do such cool stuff with it, clearly.
He does. Did you never watch Infinity War?
Yeah, and it was ridiculous.
It's
And
funny
not in
though.
a good way.
You're just a hater on Marvel. You're just a DC fangirl. That's all it is. That's all we decipher from this, 10
I don't
minutes.
know about a DC fangirl,
argument.
but I mean, a lot of the Batman stuff is really good. You know, they do a good job.
That's still DC.
That's what I'm saying.
It's still DC.
So I don't know if I'm a fangirl, but they just do stuff better than Marvel does.
Okay, well, that's debatable, and this debate. It's not worth it because all you have to go off of is
you like wearing your I get small shit.
Shut up! Shut up! Can't stand you. I can't stand you. I can't stand you. Are there any games that there's no? I think I asked you Oh, you saw they finally showed the price for the Switch and the release date, and the freaking pre-orders already done. Pre-orders were crazy for the Switch too.
Oh, I missed that whole thing. I feel like I saw little bits and pieces of it, but I missed that whole. I didn't realize it was coming out so fast after the announcement. To be honest.
Yeah, it's coming.
Until
It comes
they
out in
announce a new
June.
Animal Crossing, I will not be paying any attention whatsoever. Do not care.
No, you're gonna get Animal Crossing, but on the Switch too.
Yeah, I know.
With
Which
some
is
minor
when I'll
features.
pay attention. They're gonna be like, "Oh, well, we're releasing the new one only for Switch 2," and I'll be like, "All right."
No, it's not gonna be the new one. It's gonna be an old one, re-released on the Switch too.
That's gonna be a pain in the butt.
That's what Nintendo does. Does Nintendo not do that? They say, "Here's an old game, but re-released on the
Be a
newer
pain in the
version."
butt.
And I mean, Bethesda just re-released fucking God damn it, cursed again.
I mean, I don't think they've re-released Animal Crossing though. They've made new Animal Crossings across the board. So.
I don't know. But Bethesda re-released Oblivion, Elder Scrolls Oblivion.
Saw that, yeah.
And it's been having some problems, like crashes and bugs and stuff. And so even Ninja, who has
God
all
forbid
this,
you
not
get a
Ninja,
bug or
I
a
mean,
crash. You gotta
Shroud.
throw that game out, burn it. It's
Shroud
bad game now
was having
because it has a
problems
bug.
But yeah, how is it that you upgrade games to the Unreal Engine 5 and people have all
Because
these
it's much
PCs
more
with the
complex.
5090? Stop.
It's
stop,
significantly
stop,
more
stop.
complex.
No, stop. People buy all these freaking parts for the PC, the 5090s, all these drivers and all this stuff, the updates, the graphics, all that stuff. But yet, when you re-release your buggy game on the modern day, there's still bugs in it.
Okay,
Stop. Why is it?
If I gave you a toy flip phone right now, you would
Yes.
expect it to just work because it's very simple and easy.
And it will
but
work.
if I give you an iPhone,
Yes.
anything could go wrong because it has access
Like
to literally
what?
everything in the world.
That doesn't make sense. That's a bad analogy.
It's so much more complex. Things go wrong on these things all the time.
It's all you're doing. But okay. Why does it still have frame glitches? Why are these stuff not done before
that's like
putting the game
that,
out?
Safari closed on you. You know what I mean? Or
That's not the same. That's not the same. No.
Yeah, it is. It's like
No.
saying, "Oh, my call dropped. I'm so upset. My phone froze." And okay, of course your little toy phone call didn't drop because the call's not even real. You know what I mean?
The call's not.
You know what I mean? It's okay, it's a totally different level of game.
I'm
Relax.
tired of these companies making games and they're buggy as hell day one. Does nobody do quality control before games are pushed
Yeah,
out?
but they're like infinitely more complex.
Is there quality control before the game is pushed out? Yes or no?
They test a ton.
So why is the game always
because
buggy
it's
day
infinitely
one?
more complex. They have so many to get.
Stop
and there's so
it.
many different
No.
PC systems that are going to have different
It doesn't.
everything.
Okay, so wait.
If they're
so you
optimizing for a console, it's going to be a completely different story.
No, it's but
is.
stop, because if you play it and optimize it for the highest, the lowest tier should be fine.
There's always going to be things that fall through the cracks. Always. So
Yes,
the more
BS.
complex,
I don't buy that. I
complex
can't
that you
buy
make
it anymore.
anything, not just technology, but the more complex you make anything, any system, there's going to be more mistakes, just on a percentage basis.
So
Like,
you're telling me
if you have 1%, let's say there's 1% of mistakes in anything ever. The more complex it is, the more that 1% covers. So 1% of like a tiny little simple thing might be one mistake, but 1% of a really significant 1 million type of thing is going to be a lot bigger than that, isn't it?
So you're telling me, and throughout all these years of these companies, Unreal Engine 5 or whatever we're up to, and all the Frost system, all these new graphic things and innovations of technology, you can't make one that finds bugs before the game pushes out?
That would be cool, but that's not what
Isn't there a guy who sits there, a guy, girl, person, dog, or whatever algorithm that sits there and says, we're going to run a test
would you
and
rather
games
them
have
focus on that or create like a new game?
If you're re-releasing the game. Even when we create new games, wait, stop. Even when you create new games, there's still bugs. Isn't there a whole thing that does quality control to make sure there's no bugs?
That, like, let's say 1% slips through the cracks. That 1% is a lot more volume now. If the game is that much more complex,
but it's not always 1%.
It's going to be more complex than the original. That's why it's a remake.
There's issues with storylines stopping.
Okay.
And you can't progress.
All right.
Until a patch comes out.
And so they found the mistake because that many people played it and they fix it.
But that was a mistake. Did the developers and makers not see that mistake
Because it didn't happen.
Pre-release?
It didn't happen when they tested it. That's how
I don't think they're
goes.
testing. I don't think it's being testing.
You haven't tested anything. You've never done testing for anything in your life. You can have it go right 100 times, and then it breaks on the 100th and first time. It happens.
Yeah, but that's why I think that I don't know. Maybe it's changed, but I think that the days of game testers, where people are paid to test games, are gone. And there's not many game testers anymore.
I do think that they could increase it. I agree with you there. I think that they should be doing more, but I also think that it is also being done. I think that the complaints are just overkill. Like, yes, companies should be doing more to create quality and get around the bugs and fix all the bugs. But there is more complexity, and we've got to give them a little bit of something. This I don't even want to play a game because there's a bug. Like, okay, all right. Every time I get a bug in any game now, which is every game at some point, I'm like, oh, well, I got to burn the game now. Let me go cancel culture them on Twitter. You know, it's just ridiculous. It's absurd.
Well, I'm tired of it, and they should be doing a little bit more to stop it. And lastly, I saw you said something about Marvel Rivals.
Yeah.
And like how
I feel like it's died. I haven't seen anyone talk about it.
So here's what's happening. Here's what happened with Marvel Rivals. I'm going to tell you as somebody who plays the game still. The developers, in all their wisdom, decided to put this system in where performance grants you more XP in rank games, like more experience to rank up. And if you come in as an SVP, so MVP gets more and SVP you lose less. So they do a performance base, right? You play better and you win, you get awarded more. You play good and lose, but you don't get hit much. But like I said, it only right now is counted towards if you get MVP or SVP. And SVP is on the losing team, MVP is on the winning team. The thing is now, nobody wants to play support roles. Everybody wants to be a DPS. So in Marvel Rivals, it's the duelist. Nobody wants to play strategists, which are healers, or vanguards, which are tanks, right?
So they need
a
better reward system for those roles. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yes, because now it's screwed up. And then on top of that, you have brainlit top players like Necro saying support is a easy role. Those people suck. They don't really know how to play the game. Like, he pretty much called all support players they just are just bad at the game and don't know how to play anything else. They're just bad. They're not important. Support the healers that keep duelists and strategy and vanguards alive. You're calling out the healers. So nobody wants to play healers, and if you do have play healers, the healers are going on strike. Support players are going on strike by not healing.
Well,
so now everybody picks duelist because they want to get, because playing the duelist, you're guaranteed MVP unless you play as a good vanguard or a strategist and do a move that does it. So it's like it ruined the rank system now. Like, so now the games are all screwed up. They're doing this thing where they're offering more weekly, monthly, and like timely events to keep people engaged. Because what happens is when people get to like the top rank of like one above all, Celestial or Eternity, they stop, just make a new account, play again and stuff. But it's getting boring. You fall into that mode of just like, the player bases are just starting to fall off because nobody really wants to play anymore and deal with the bad algorithm and the ranking system and stuff. Because again, it's a ranked game, and of course, you know, with ranked games, it brings out the worst in people. And you know, if the games are just not fun, people leave.
Yeah,
we're at season 2 and they've seen a fall off already.
And these are
And
much
this is the
more
second
complex
season.
than like Fortnite Battle Royale, which is what I compared it to. I was like, I think this could be as big as it because it has so much potential, but they overcomplicated it to the point, it sounds like, that they didn't have everything as good as it should be. So like they should be rewarding the support players more so that anybody wants to play it. I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Most people don't want to play it anyway because they want to be, nobody wants to be the defense initially, you know? They want to be the person that's getting all the glory.
The killer.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they should have a system where it's like, if I play as a vanguard or a strategist, and I have 16 kills, 1 death, but my assists are like in the 40s and my healing is high, I should be rewarded the same as a MVP duelist.
Yeah. Absolutely, they should.
You know, if I out healed out of, let's say both teams have healers, if I out healed all 3 healers, that means the healer on my team and the other 2 on the other team, should I not be rewarded better?
I mean, gamification is driven by incentivization, and it sounds like they're not incentivizing
Exactly.
properly. So it's, I mean, it's down the drain. That it sounds like also an easy fix, but they probably already, you know, lost the trust of their fans. So
yeah, and you know, you have this whole situation with the dive comp and everything, and like, you know, they said they nerfed kind of like the dive champions, so because they, you know, to give healers a better chance and everything. But then they changed things, the mechanics so much where it's just like the game just is just not, it's fun, but then it's like I don't even want to deal with this anymore because it's like it's just so like annoying. Is like they're gonna kill their own game. They're gonna fall in the same trap of like Overwatch, where like,
I mean,
you constantly
Overwatch
keep
did
changing
well,
and
though,
changing
it seems
things.
like. I mean, it's kind of died down, and it sounds like Marvel Rivals has kind of replaced it. But at the same time, they had a pretty long reign of doing pretty well. I mean, they got really popular, but I thought that Marvel Rivals could do Fortnite numbers if it did it right, and it looks like they just...
Yeah, but here's the thing with Fortnite. They're making money off of all their skins, off of multiple game modes. Come on, they bought Harmex. They got this there's Guitar Hero in that game. There's Legos in that game. There's Among Us in that game. There's a racing car game in that game.
They've had
There's
pretty
a
much
tower
every
defense.
game that I love in that game to some degree. I don't think they've had last
Yes.
season in it, but they've had a lot of games.
Yeah, and it's like all these different people. There's so much to do. Marvel Rivals is the simplest thing. It's push the payload, defend the point, capture the point. There's a big head mode. There's a free for all battle mode. It's like now you got another game coming out from Bungie, Marathon,
And
and
Battle
some
Royale's
streamers.
such an easy pickup, you know, like the
What's
beauty
that?
and the simplicity. Battle Royale is just an easy pickup. Anyone can play it. I mean, anyone. You don't have to teach anyone how to do that. You just can give them a controller, tell them which buttons to press, and they're good. Like, it's not a hard conceptualization to play, right? Whereas if somebody were to pick up Marvel Rivals, there's a lot of explanation that needs to be done. And so just the simplicity gives it the advantage. But I really thought the edge for Marvel Rivals would come from It's just, it has all of the licensing it needs already built into it, and it has like an infinite number of things it can build from, versus Fortnite has to be a little bit slower about it because anything that it licenses is there's gonna be a lot of contracts, you know, dealt with there, versus Marvel can just expand and expand and expand infinitely very fast, like with a million
I guess the
Ant-Mans,
one of
you
the
know.
I mean, I guess what's main selling point for
I mean, think
Marvel
about like
is
what they
people.
could do with Ant-Man. They could just command ants.
All right, that's where we're gonna end at this point. Let us know in the comments below. You know, let us know. Do you think video games nowadays should have all these bugs with all the technology we have and stuff? And is it so bad for companies to use AI, you know, to save a coin or two? Let us know in the comments below. Be sure to like and subscribe and hit that bell notification so you can stay up to date with your famous two semi-filtered gamers, because you know we can't curse too much for the algorithm.
I think we only dropped like 3 F-bombs.
I think 3. I think I could edit those out.
I think we
Right?
did good.
You can edit those out, right? No more cussing. All right. You got any closing statements?
The same as probably the last 2 episodes. Don't be a coward. Stop
Yeah.
it.
Okay. Hardy, you got anything you want to say? Okay, she doesn't have nothing to say.
Murph has nothing to say either. He's seepins.
Okay. All right. Well, that's it for us. It was good seeing you guys. Oh, you guys can't see us. We don't see you. You know, I've acted a lot. Whatever. I'm ending. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye!